In this video, I'm going to show you how you can create a sheet to record overtime from your schedule in Excel. A couple weeks ago, I showed you how to select 1 month out of a yearly schedule. So this is October out of a whole year schedule. And now I'm going to show you how you can create an overtime sheet. So this sheet reflects everything that's on that sheet, except for we don't have any work times in there. And so this is where you would go through, and if they worked overtime, let's say they worked 2 days here and 3 days here, and 3 hours here and 4 hours here, and even if they came in on a work day and they worked 5 hours. Okay, so now if you go to the end of this, we have the totals here, and then go back to the sheet 2 for the monthly, and you also have the overtime hours. So these are the regular hours and these are the overtime hours. So I'm going to show you how I did this. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this overtime so I can show you from the start how I did it. Okay, so now we have ref, and that's fine. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new sheet, and I'm going to call it overtime. So the month may change, but the days will stay the same. So what I've done, first of all, so on my overtime sheet, I'm going to make this column a little bit bigger. I don't know what it is exactly. And then I'm going to select B to AF, just because I know that's how many columns I have in a month. And I'm going to right click and I'm going to select column with the 5. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go over and we're going to get the headings from the other row. So I'm linking these as opposed to copying them, so that if they change, these will change. So let's go to A3, and we're going to go equals, and then we're going to go over to sheet 1, and we're going to get A3 on that sheet, and we're going to press enter. And so now it's bringing it in as numerical value for the date. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to sheet 2, and I'm going to select it, and I'm going to get the format painter, and then I'm going to bring it back here, and I'm going to select that and just make it the same. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy all of these to AF. And one more time, it's doing the same thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back here. I'm going to select the format painter, and then I'm going to, these are the day numbers on the week that are up here. So I'm going to go along here. Okay, so now let's go back to our sheet again. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to select down. So I can just do this from this sheet. I'm going to go down 2, 3, 4 columns. And once again, we're going to have to go and get the format from this one. And then I can drag this all the way along and keep going until I get to AF. And there's my month. And then the names will be easy because they're just names and there's no formatting really with it. So let's go back to sheet 1 and let's go employee number 1. And then we can drag down to the bottom of these. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to see what days they have working. So I'm going to go equals here, and I'm going to do a formula, and I'm going to say if this sheet or this cell here, oops. So I'm going to put an if in front of this. So I'm going to go if and a bracket, and I'm going to go if this equals 0 or O, which is for off, then I'm going to put an O in there. And if not, I am going to put another comma for the I. If it doesn't, then I'm just going to leave it blank. And then I'm going to close my bracket. And there we go. So that's nothing. So now let's scroll across here, and we should get a bunch of O's in here from where they're off. And then we can drag this down for the rest of them. And we should get the off. Now, we want this to be green because the rest, these are all formatted green for conditional formatting. So I'm just going to select this, get my format painter. I'm going to overtime, and I'm going to go and put this in here so it all looks lovely. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an automatic sum at the end here. So from my home tab, I'm going to automatic sum. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take a total. So I'm going to go automatic sum. And so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all of my cells here. So I'm going to go from A to AF. And then I'm going to press enter. And now I can double click on the fill handle to fill this in. Okay, so now what I have done here for the overtime, so these are the total overtime hours. So you put in a value here and you will get the total at the end here. So now what I've done to this sheet is I'm going to go here and I'm going to go equals, go to overtime, and then I'm going to double click on my fill handle, and there you go, and there's the 4 hours. Now, so this looks like it's lots of fun, but you know what? Let's select another month. So the first thing you have to do is you have to delete the overtime. So there's 1 hour in here, so we're going to delete it because we don't want to give them 4 hours the next month. So let's go here and let's select a month. So I'm going to go, let's go for November and select a month. Now, in November, just a minute, select a month. And so he works the first day and then they have 3 days off. And so if you go over here, it's exactly, and now we have November up here and it's all there. So you can add up the hours. And so let's put in hours here, and let's go on the first one and let's put in 8. And it will, of course, be reflected on this one here. So 8 hours overtime. So that's how you create a record for overtime from your existing schedule in Excel. Please subscribe.